On board with the Sauber of Happy coming into the last two corners. Easy to invalidate on the apex and on the exit, but he keeps it within track limits, it looks like, coming up to the line. What is this going to be? A 26.4 from Happy, so that's going to be the benchmark for the other drivers to beat. But let's see what the others can do, as Kraktev has a mighty Sector 1 29.7, and that's 3/10 ahead of Happy. But let's look at Yushi in the Jaguar. He's on a pretty decent lap time as well, looks like. What is his sector time? 29.2, so a 10th up in the first sector, but a 10th quicker in the second sector compared to the Sauber up in P1, and he goes very wide on the exit of the last corner. Was that invalid? Maybe it wasn't, as Yushi goes up to P1 with a 26.2. But let's see what Kraktev can do as he invalidates. And Thax and Beastova both have a very competitive time in the first sector. Let's have a look at Beastova in the Williams here. He's battling with Kraktev here for P2 in the championship, as I said before, and he makes his way into the final sector. His teammate just on the side there, but Beastova making his way through the final corner. Don't go too wide like saw Yushi do, although Yushi got away with it, so track limits are quite lenient on the last corner as Beastova goes up to P1 with a 25.6. First driver to get into the 25s. Let's see if Thax has an answer to that, and he is quicker in the first sector and on par with Beastova in the second sector. So can the world champion make his way onto P1? But he went very wide on the last corner, and that was invalid for Thax. But Kraktev with an even quicker first sector, 29.3. Wow, that's a crazy lap time. Yellow sector too, but it's still a pretty good time. He's only a 10th down on Beastova in the second sector, but that first sector is just so strong. So let's see if he can make it. Another purple sector here as he rounds out the final corner. It looks pretty tidy through there. Can he dethrone Beastova? Yes, he can. A 25.0, 6/10 ahead of his championship rival. And Speed for Ages looked to be on a pretty decent lap. 29.1 in the second sector. That's the same as Kraktev's, but on the first sector just isn't as good. But let's see what the McLaren driver can do as he heads up the line, and it's a 25.9, goes ahead of Yushi and the third driver to get into the 25s. And Yanio 29.3 in the first sector, so that's really impressive from the Jaguar. I never really expected to see that from him, but yeah, Yanio just ahead of Happy behind him. Let's see what the Jaguar can do in the second sector. 29.4, pretty decent, not on the level of the top guys who are able to get into the 28s, but I'm sure he'll be happy with this lap if he can get into the low 26s, as he cuts the corner quite a lot there. I think that was invalid, but we're going to have to see as he rounds the final two corners. And into the final corner, looks pretty clean, maybe a bit slow on the exit, but is this invalid for the Jaguar? It isn't. 26.0, so that's a really good lap from Yanyo. What does Happy do? And no improvement for the Sauber. And Thax, the reigning champion, is on lap right now as well. In the second sector he has an improvement, but on the first sector he has an improvement. In the second sector he is a bit slower, but what can he do in the final sector? Can he make it another improvement maybe? And he can. A 24.5, half a second ahead of his teammate, as Whiteside just goes up to P6 at the final moments of qualifying. 26.2 for the Swedish driver. But what does Thax do? Can he make it an improvement? No, he does not. As Österlord in the Prost goes up to P4 with a 25.5, and that's a really good last attempt for the Prost Grand Prix driver. But looks like that is going to be it for qualifying. Round number 7 of season 6 is going to be underway here at the Sochi Autodrome. Thax getting a good lead off the line, but Kraktev is putting it alongside him as we head into the first braking zone on the circuit. Beastova in the Williams is just behind him as well, but he's going to have to defend from the Prost of, that is Bristol, and Whiteside getting a really good start, making his way up into the top 3 as well. That wasn't expected, and he's actually making his way into P2. So what's that, a jump start maybe? I don't know, but he's now challenging for the lead as we see a Sauber going very well. Is that Bristol going spinning around? And oh no, it wasn't. It was that other thrust of Akibor spinning the car over the sausage curb. But let's go back to the battle for the lead, and it's Crack there up in P1, and this is exactly what he would have wanted in the battle for P2 in the championship, as Whiteside going very wide out of that corner. Definitely going to be a track limit warning for him. But yeah, Whiteside is right on the gearbox of the French driver who's currently P2 in the championship. But yeah, we have a three-way battle here for the lead as we head into the final sector, and Whiteside a bit of a Ferrari sandwich here with the Ferrari just ahead of him and just behind him. Or actually now Sachs has got the switchback done on the Swedish Bullet, and he's now down. Oh, he's actually down to P3 now, so he just compromised his exit slightly on the exit of the corner. But as we head on to the end of the opening lap, it's going to be Crackdev up in P1. But yeah, Bristol now losing another position to the Renault of Whiteside. So yeah, not looking too good for Bristol as he loses the car over the sausage curb, just pushing the limits a bit too much, and he's now into the barrier, and he's now down into P12 or P13. So it was looking like such a promising start, but he's thrown it all away with that one mistake. As Crackdev is now closing up on his teammate massively through the first corner, and the Ferrari's battling it out for P1 here at the Russian Grand Prix. And through turn 3 we go, and is it going to be Crackdev ahead? Is it going to be Sachs ahead? And one of the Ferraris going very wide on the exit. I don't know who that was. I think it was Sachs, because he's going to be down into second position. But on the exit, it looks like Sachs was able to get the superior traction, and he's just able to have the commitment through the high speed corners, and he's able to carry way more speed through there. Or is he? Crackdev is now pulling ahead, and don't hit the curb on the exit. Don't want to spin out like we saw Osterlord do a few laps ago. But the Ferraris are dueling for dominance here at Sochi through the into the final sector here. They're still side by side with each other, and this is a really good battle from the reigning champions, the reigning constructors champions. Sachs is currently the drivers champion, and the way it looks like now, it looks like Crackdev is going to secure a 1-2 in the drivers championship as well. But yeah, Sachs coming in for his pit stop, and he gets a penalty on the entry as well. And let's see, does Beast come in? Yes, he is. So Beast are making his pit stop, and Yushi and Osterlord are going to have to come in as well. Yushi making his pit stop, and so does Osterlord, none of them crashing on the pit entry. But yeah, let's see where Sachs comes out. Would he come out ahead of his teammate? Would he come out behind? And Crackdev is up into the lead now. Does Beastaba come out ahead? No, he doesn't. He comes out behind both Poco and Happy, and he's going to come out behind Speed for Ages. No, he isn't, but Speed for Ages is going to be up to speed on the fresh tyres and through the first corner, and he gets the overtake done for P5. So yeah, the overcut hasn't worked out for Beastaba. So lost him a bunch of time. The undercut looks to be really powerful in these cars. Beastaba losing 2 seconds from staying out that one extra lap. So maybe that's going to pay off, maybe it won't. And it's Poco getting a penalty. Probably the worst possible corner. And the high-speed corner, he did not want to be getting a penalty. But yeah, that's going to be him losing the podium. And Happy makes his Crackdev! No, second race in a row, and he's disconnected. Oh my word. Oh, what's happened to Beastaba? Has Beastaba disconnected? Oh my god. I think Beastaba has... or something's happened to Beastivar. Maybe he crashed, maybe he disconnected, not too sure, but Beastivar is now out of this race. But yeah, let's go back to the battle. 4v2, Poco once again coming into turn 4, don't make any mistakes through there. And yeah, let's ride on board with Happy now as we see him chasing down Poco in the Honda, and he's closing up more and more. And through the second sector, this is where we know Happy is quite strong at this circuit, and Happy actually taking a lot more liberties. The track limit is cutting that corner much more, and he's gaining a huge amount of time through that corner. But let's go back to Thanks as he rounds out the final corner, and he's won the championship already, but he's going to take another win of the season here at the Russian Grand Prix, and he continues his streak of podiums in this season. But let's go back to the battle for P2. They're almost side by side as we head into the chicane of the final sector, and Happy trying to get the switchback done for P2, but they're neck and neck as you head into the penultimate corner and into the final corner. And at the dying moments of this race, Poco loses P2, or does he on the exit of the final corner? It's going to be a drag race for P2, and Poco just gets it by 0.03 of a second. And what a finish that was. And Speed Rages is going to come home in P4. Well, yeah, it's going to be round 7 done and dusted as we now head into the final round of the season at Saitama.